Hey YouTube, welcome back to part 3 of my Wonder Boy 3 The Dragon's Trap playthrough. So last time around we finished off Mouse Man section, or at least the part of Mouse Man section that we could do. We have to revisit him for a few extras, not too far in the distant future. So this section here we need to use Mouse Man, or we can get in there as Mouse Man. But right now we're taking on Piranha Man section, and his section is a lot harder. It's actually to access it, you need to go through here and you need to go back to the seaside, and there is a chest and stuff we could get right now. Ooh, actually, come to think of it, there is a shop I want to get, so I will go here. I was going to actually leave it for now, but no. You can get a shield, so I may as well get the shield. So you can actually go up here, and there is a shop that's blocked off. So we need the sword that will break those blocks, so we can't get those just yet. But we can go here and we can get some money, which is good, of course. And there is a shop that we can get the Aquashield, which is probably, I'm going to guess, the best shield for this dude. It's always worth checking though, because sometimes they can be a little unusual. So you might see an arrow here. That actually goes back to the original castle where we started the prelude. So we're back on the beach, and if we just drop down, and we've seen this in part 1, we couldn't get here. But now we can swim over as Piranha Man and go to the shop and buy the Aquashield, which we can equip, and it will probably increase our. So you might notice, even though I had before I changed that shield, my stats were different, and I don't think I mentioned it before, but basically each animal form has different stats, and in this case, this guy has better charm points and stuff like that. I'd imagine. You know, usually it's a case that they get more powerful as they go on, but not universally. So you could have tried to go on the beach, and you would have seen areas that Piranha Man could have got access to, but he's blocked by. He needs to break those bricks. So we need to go up here. Actually, we need to go to the desert in the sky section. Now we went left earlier to Lizardman section, but if we go right, we get to another section that has some critical. It actually will get us. The sword that we require to break blocks. We got one of those evil Fonzie sons. And it's a good place as well to make liberal use of the dual boomerangs. Those blue frogs are a bit nasty because they have a rather awkward pattern. And the enemies here are quite hard, so it's a big step up from what we would have seen. Now, these guys, I'm pretty sure there we go. So you see, he nearly pushed me back into a frog, which wasn't great. You see how many hits this guy's taken? And thankfully, he's dropped it. Oh, I forgot to go to the vets and get help. That's not good. I might lose... Now, if I recall... Goblin Mail? I'm hoping Goblin Mail, but I'm thinking it doesn't. There is a mail that actually protects you from fire. But I don't think it's Goblin Mail. I think it's Dragon Mail. So I got to be careful until I get that, unless I've missed it somewhere. And if I have, this is going to be a lot harder. I know there's a shop halfway through, so I'm kind of hoping that's where I get that. You basically have to just keep jumping here and don't fall in. Ooh. And yeah, I cut that a little close. Your shield will block those things, and then, as I said, make liberal use of the boomerang to destroy these enemies from a distance. Now we're done with this section. You do end up with some nasty enemy combinations. Oh, that was lucky I caught that too. Yeah, I was lucky as well that his arch. When you see the money drop like that, it's like, no, money bag, but you can't do anything about it. Ooh, now that guy is challenging. You can jump over him, but no, that's the wrong button. What I'm going to try and do is use Tornado to bounce. Yeah, I don't really use those for too much, so there we go. That's him gone. I'll put back on my boomerang. So if you stand close, you'll avoid his arc. We got another one of those, so we may as well do the same trick again. And you can just jump over them, like it's totally, you know, manageable. It's just a case of timing. But when we have plenty of magic to spare, we may as well put it to use. Now I kind of expect an enemy to drop down. I guess not. We can see another one of those blue guys. So again, tornado. Oh, that was a nice. 2 for the price of 1 there. Actually didn't need to throw the extra piece of magic. Uh-oh, that's not a great position. I thought he was actually going to get me, but... yeah, stay away. This is one area where... oh no. Thankfully that hit, it hit the wall and came back. In the right circumstance, magic can be useful. Oh, damn it! I completely forgot I throw my boomerangs and was too fast. That's not good. Now, as I said, like I did a little bit of grinding, so I was fine on magic resources. And these guys take a lot of hits as well. Yeah, I got 20 boomerangs, so I'm fine. But oh damn it! Yeah, Goblin Mail does not protect me, so I may as well go back to the Shogun one, which increases my defense. Oh, nice! It was a handy time to get that. Will that reach? It will. See, you just see how useful the boomerang is. Now this guy's going to start jumping around, I think. So we gotta jump on that spring. Avoid this dude. Oh, nuts! Get in. So this is a shop, and well, there's actually multiple things, I guess, because it has a return point as well. What have we got in here? We got money. Some thunder. Thunder magic is also can be useful if you're having trouble with areas with a lot of enemies, or to take a little bit of energy off from the bosses. So we got the shop here, which I'm pretty sure will have the dragon mail. Yeah, this is what prevents you from getting hurt in the lava. So we may as well do it. I thought that was going to be return, but that was more useful. So we'll stick on the dragon mail, and my defense and my charm drop down, but it's worth it as the trade-off. Given that we no longer have to worry about falling in. In fact, you don't have a choice. You got to get in. So you actually have to basically buy that. And to be fair, you probably can... Whoop. That wasn't a clever thing to do. So we're basically... oh, you... I knew he was going to push me. So yeah, I mentioned in the Mouseman section that when those guys drop their heads, it's better to, in this case, just get out of dodge. Yeah. Oh, and they start throwing crap at you too, just for the heck of it. So yeah, definitely, you know, you can be tempted sometimes to try and get the money and stuff, but it's just not worth it when money is abundantly available elsewhere. Now we gotta just be mindful that we may have to turn back. Whoa! Oh well. I was just going a little too fast there. So yeah, there is also, I think, in this area here, in the remake, where there's another of the charm stones hidden. So you see, we could have gotten here as Lizard Man. Would have been pretty difficult, but you get stuck. You can't get over here. You need to swim. So, if I recall, you have to go in here and you change form. So we need to change back into Mouseman. So, well, this is going to be the Piranha Man section. We do have to do a little bit as the old potato. And the reason why is because in here we need to climb up some of those Mouseman blocks, and that will get us to that sword we need. And I'm hoping it'll actually... I think is it the saber sword? I just don't remember the names of the various equipment. So it's actually kind of interesting. I didn't equip it, but I was able to break those blocks. So it's actually the Thundersaber, but it seems to be a stackable ability. You could equip it, and it has its own stats, but there's really no need. And it has no attack power, so it doesn't make any sense to actually equip that. You're better off just using your current weapon and letting it do its thing. Bit odd, but however. Now this might be a mistake. I know there's stuff hidden in these, which is why I'm breaking them, but I can't remember. I don't want to actually have to go back as Mouse Man. Oh sure, I can just go through the door and it'll respawn them. And you only get stuff once, so you can't just keep coming in and out of the door and breaking those blocks. And just a demonstration, see? Oh, the door that wasn't closed, that's the return door I was thinking of. So now we turn back into this dude, Piranha Man, and we can get in here. So Piranha Man section, because we had to do that side quest, is essentially going to be a lot longer than a Mouse Man section. We get in here, we return back, and back in the village, we could just now go straight into his dungeon, but I'm not going to do that because we can also transform back into Mouse Man here. I think we can get another equipment piece, so we can now break that block. Only linemen can break those ones up there, but there's nothing really important up in them. So there's another one of these changing rooms. Makes it sound like they're going to put on some clothes or something. Should probably give an epilepsy warning, and modern game would for that flashing thing. So now we can break those blocks. We can also use Mouse Man's ability to get down here. Now certainly I know this is Lineman's section, who's the next animal form, but I think you can see Lineman can go down there and he breaks that, but you see Mouse Man's blocks up ahead. Okay, I'm trying to remember now. There's a spring down one of these. There it is. There we go. So if you drop down here, yeah, you get to the door and it moves you over to the other side of the screen and drop down again. And we can just get through here. Sometimes you end up going through these really fast. You can do multiple at one. I don't know why that is. Something to do with when you're stuck on to the roof or onto those checker blocks. The game physics change ever so slightly. Doesn't really make a difference other than it speeds things up, which is nice. Come on. Come on! There we go. See, the hardest thing about the Mouse Man is when he actually gets stuck, and I'm kind of not sure what's in this door. Ah, okay. We got another sword. We're really building up our equipment now. This sword is the one that lets you make blocks. What's it called? It's the Magical Saber. And really, it's just used to get out of here. See? Any of these... It's only used in like 2 rooms in the whole game. This is not going well, actually, the way I was building that. Ah! I've actually probably got myself into a bit of a bind. Yeah. I'll just do this. You can break those, of course, with the other sword. But I don't think there's anything to be gained. So now we have that extra so we should change it back. We need that to complete the game, but it's not actually not useful right now. So we want to change back into Piranha Man and tackle his actual section. It's like talk about being able to do a bit of side activities. But it does kind of clear up having to change back into Mouse Man. So that's kind of the biggest kind of area of side activities out of the way with, really, for the game. There's a few other things you can do, but most of it is now kind of just focused on going to the dungeons. So we've been up above and we've gotten... Oh no, we can actually now go and check this shop. I have a funny feeling I don't have enough charm points to get anything in here. and I'm pretty sure it's got like Hawkman stuff. But we can check. Let's check. Oh, 310. I think that's a key. So if I change my armor, because I don't need the dragon, the goblin mail or whatever, dragon mail anymore. Oh, I can get the lucky. Actually, lucky sword it's lucky. So I do want those. That was actually just while I come up here. The lucky sword is the one that I was mentioning before, where it is also the best sword I can get right now. It basically increases your drop rate of good items. What's that? 132. Yeah. So Samurai's the best there. Have we got the best on here? Dancing Shield, Shogun Shield, Aquashield. Aquashield's the best. So we're good to go for this next section. And this time we definitely are. Whenever you see these blocks, it is always worth destroying them the first time around, because there is usually stuff hidden in them. We got that money bag, and we got a little heart. Not that I needed it, but hey ho. So this is a pretty challenging section of the game, actually. And one, you got to deal with the fact that you're going to be underwater, so you're now moving in 3 dimensions. You got underwater physics, which are always a joy, of course. But the boss is probably the hardest boss in the game, and certainly a major step up from what we were facing with the first 3 bosses. Mind you, as a kid, I found all of the bosses challenging, so... Oop. And I should not be blasé about this. Even though these are kind of early enemies now, you know, we took these on as Lizard Man. It is a case of you want to kind of make sure you keep all your health for the next section. Now, so we've seen this earlier on in part 1, and now we can actually break those blocks and swim over here. So even if you manage to, you know, come here as a different island form, you can't get to this section without Piranha Man because he needs to swim. And you see we got the blue octopuses now, so they're a bit more challenging, but not too bad. This section is okay. There's a few little block puzzly things. Well, not puzzles, but just kind of obstacles to avoid. And there is an extra heart that we gotta look out for, because you really do need your hearts. In fact, because I've played things like Monster Boy more recently, I kept thinking there must be more hearts than there are in this game, but no, there's only 8. Ah, come on. You might notice as well I'm getting like money bags and stuff, and that's in part down to the fact that I'm further in the game, these are harder enemies, but it's also in part down to the fact that I got the lucky sword on. So everything is much more likely to give me better drops. And it is the time to start to farm for money. So earlier on when I was running past enemies, it didn't make that much sense to kind of sit there and try and farm them in difficult situations. So yeah, you see we got to avoid these blocks. The first one isn't too bad, there's a lot of gaps. Then you get a little more challenging, and then you got to swim up here. And swimming is quite slow. I'll wait for these guys to move, and I'm pretty sure over here, oh, kill you first. Over onto the left, kill you first as well. There's a hospital over here. Hey, hospital, I didn't call it a vets. Yeah, so that door is, it's the hospital / vets. We don't need it right now, so we're just going to ignore it. I say that, and then after getting an extra heart, I didn't go and take a hit. Yeah, good going. I could be using the boomerang here, actually. It's not, you know, always, you know, useful when you're going to be moving in 3-dimensional, so I tend to be a little more cautious about it. And you can see we're actually just wailing through these guys with the upgrades we got. So you see the blocks are a bit more challenging here, but you can actually just take your time, and you don't have to jump, you don't have to, just literally kind of move across, that's all. You could of course swim across if you wanted. Oh. Yeah. Come on. There we go. We come down. We didn't I just kind of glossed over the fact that the upside down ship thing. That's actually the mountain that we've seen right at the beginning of the game in Lizardman's section. So it's not really a mountain, it's actually an upturned ship. I thought that was quite clever because as a kid I didn't know. I thought it was a mountain. So it was kind of like mind blown when I got here. But yeah, that's where the dungeon is for Piranha Man. But we had to go down here to get the heart from. Grand, we got an extra heart to fill in our missing health too. So all's good. I'm just going to avoid him. So we need to go back here. And again, you could swim through this, you can do it a lot faster. But I just take my time. Because coming into this next dungeon, you do want to be mindful of your health. And sometimes slow and steady wins the race. Isn't that right? Oh, first, definitely slow and steady with the swimming. This can be challenging with the spawns up here because you got your octopus, you got this guy flying, and of course you got your man throwing the fireballs at you. But there's the door, as you can see. It's the upside down ship. Now this is challenging. You got a whole bunch of ghostly kind of enemies. And again, the boomerang is very useful here. You know, I end up using this to kind of... that's not too bad. That guy just disappeared. But they'll eventually start coming from behind, so you have to turn around because they'll be firing fireballs at you, and they'll try and do it both in front and behind. So it is quite tricky, this level. Like that. And again, this first section is really just to kind of give you a feel for the enemies patterns that are coming up, but it gets a lot harder. So really I suggest taking your time. See, there we go. And you can also, once you see an enemy, be inclined to rush forward. But you see, going backwards and forwards there and using the boomerangs can keep them down and basically allow you to attack one side while you're facing the other side. Because they hide when you're near as well, which, you know, means you have to kind of step away. And I don't actually remember all of the patterns for these guys, so I have to be very careful. And the first time around, like, this is extremely challenging because you're just not going to know the pattern. And I was going to say, I know there's a guy that's going to jump from behind. Unfortunately, he got me too, given that I knew he was coming. You see the doors are, everything's upside down in this, which is kind of cool. Oh, this guy's challenging. There's nothing to the left there, by the way, even though it kind of looks like there might be. See, look how many boomerang throws he takes. So I generally try to keep my boomerangs going in this section because you get both those ghosts and the Minotaur guys. Are you saying guessing them? No, I don't know what they are. You keep pushing them back, and the further back they are, they're less likely to hit you with their fireballs. And while they're stunned, they can't throw you, so... Oop. Gotcha. So, you know, it is a case of slow and steady. Oh, nasty. Oh, thankfully at least I got some health back from that. The bounce just did me no favours. He bounced towards me instead of away from me. And that can happen depending on where they're caught in the throw. Now they're going... I think those guys are going to start turning blue. And this section's quite challenging because you got the statues, and now if I remember rightly, I think the easiest thing here is probably just to throw some tornadoes and get that guy gone. Yeah, and he gave me a tornado back, which was mighty nice of him. And this guy, I know there's going to be... So it is a case of back and forth to try and block those things, and there's going to be more of that. So yeah, I'm probably not going to be talking quite so much during this section, or the later sections, as, you know, you do have to end up focusing a bit more. Oops. Now, thankfully I've got decent armor as well, so that's kind of helping. There is some armor that's more and less effective against fire in particular. And you know, so you sometimes see energy go down at different rates, and that's why. Like, I'm pretty sure there's one that seems to be based on how much damage you can do implies how much damage you take or something like that, and that can be very risky. So we're starting to see the blue enemies now appearing, but I'm sure there's some blue versions of those ghosts. And of course you have to be very careful when you're using your sword, because you take your shield down. So it's quite literally a double-edged sword. Now I'm pretty sure I can get, I can get that guy from over there, which is good, because I know there is more of those Minotaur dudes coming up. Now of course, I might be thinking of the next part of this level. Sometimes in my mind I just remember the hard parts, you know, I'm thinking, oh, I know that's coming up. Yeah, it's coming up in the next section. Here he is. This guy I don't like at all, because I try and stay here and do it, but of course if he pushes you out you have to redo the section. You know, redo it again, and you can lose your boomerangs. Yeah, there we go, I knew there's blue ones. So he takes more hits. Now thankfully you can get most of them. Oh! Yeah, nasty, nasty guys. And I'm pretty sure there is a Minotaur type of Cyclopsy. Actually, that's what he is. He's Cyclops, not a Minotaur. Yeah, there's coming up. I know he's coming up. Where are you? So, there you are. Ah. Oh, he gave me a potion, which would have been super useful if I was down a potion. Oh no. At least I got him cornered now. But I see how many hits he took. Crazy. And if I recall, there is another guy there, so I'm going to use a tornado again. See, the tornado will keep bouncing, which is actually quite handy. I mean, it does fizzle out, but it'll do the trick. Yeah. This is the section I think I was actually thinking of. It is one of the hardest sections to manage your health on. I didn't do too bad, but given that we're coming up to the hardest boss, or one of the hardest bosses, you know, it all is quite cumulative, and you want to enter this section, oh nice, with as much health as you possibly can. There we go. So I'm actually going on a full health, which is pretty good. Okay, now this is Pirate Man or whatever. So you see, oh, he's easily the hardest I find to get hits on. And he kind of throws in that arc. Ah. Okay, so I would not be shocked if I end up using up a potion on this dude. But we're going okay. Famous last words. Uh-oh. Ah. And you can block those hooks with your shield, but it's challenging. Uh-oh. Come on. Yeah, I gotta concentrate on this fella, alright. Let them bounce over. No. Okay, come on. He's gonna drop down. There we go. Drop down. So we're doing okay. 40. Having decent shields and stuff is kind of imperative, though. As you can see now, I've taken a fair few hits. And continue to take a fair few hits. I mean, he's like all the other bosses. He does actually pretty much repeat his pattern. It's a challenging pattern compared to the last few that we've taken on, but it is fundamentally just, you know, going back and forth through the same motions. Oh, I don't like taking him on from that side. But there we go, that's Piranha Man out of the way. And you notice he's dropping money bags now, and that's because of the lucky sword being equipped. It increases the rewards. So it's actually quite good to earn a bit of money here. And this time I actually will try and get that. Yeah. So there we go. That was Piranha Man section. Quite challenging, but I'm actually pleased that we managed to make it through. And see, we're now kicked out here. So in after all that, then you're faced getting used to this guy who's got a very different sword swing and can actually be quite challenging to get used to too. But he's quite powerful, and it's kind of a relief to be done with that section. So earlier on, I don't know, will I be able to buy this now? The Master Shield, see? We weren't able to buy that. So that's quite early to be able to actually get the Master Shield, I find. But there we go. We have, yeah, that was a nice step up to 182 in defense. And we can get this, which I mentioned in the first part, gives you a return, so you can skip over. Because, to be fair, at this point, going through that beat section is kind of, you know, you're not really earning much money or anything, so it's just more of a waste. So it's nice that there's a return to get you back here. So what we're going to do is, eventually, for Lineman, we got to go down there. But before we do that, I want to just get myself cured and get myself kind of ready for the next go round, because this has been a long enough part, so I think we leave it there. I hope you enjoyed a look at it. Piranha Man stage. It was difficult, but we got through it pretty well. Anyway, we'll see you again soon.